I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel where we focus on using ordinary materials to make beautiful things. It's another Motivational Monday. So today's page, I have to tell you, is inspired by this little piece of paper that I found. Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful. When I was going through my stash of sentiments, quotes, whatever you want to call it, words, phrases, I was trying to clean out the little bin that I have that had a bunch of stuff in it, and I ran across this that I had done previously and just stuck in there. Probably I did it and it didn't fit on the page, so I found this and I went, oh, that's it. I want to do something with that. So I thought it would be good to do this in my journal. So then I dug around in my images and I found this one, which I love. This is from a calendar, as you can see, May 2016. So I saved this image and I had cut kind of around it, but I've gone ahead and kind of trimmed out some of the little pieces that weren't cut yet. But I found this and I thought the colors were perfect. The blue and the green, and then the idea of the peacock, and I really love this. So I thought that has to go in my journal. So then I dug around and I found this background, and I think the color goes really well. I like it, but I do want a little more oomph to it. So this is just, looks like I had probably done, this is like brown craft paper, so I was probably making some painted backgrounds to stick in my stash, which I do sometimes. So I just have some color pages ready to go. So there's kind of some grays in here and a couple of different shades of green. And sometimes what I'm doing is when I'm painting something else, if I have paint left over, I just kind of, put them on a page and then, swirl them around, because I don't want to waste the paint. And then that allows me to use it later. So I have this, and I found a stencil, and what I thought I would do is maybe stencil something in gold. So I kind of like this stencil, and I know the peacock is going to cover a lot of it, so I just kind of want to see, I want this part down here, maybe a good deal of that will be covered, so we can kind of move it up. So this part up here is what I'm interested in. So let's kind of slip that. Yep, I think that'll be good. So I have just a little bit of this old gold paint left, so I thought I would use that. I'm in the process of trying to use up some things, so I have some other shades of gold that I like a little better, a little darker gold. But this won't take much paint, and there's not very much in this. So that's okay. It's good. And when you're using these, when you are ready to use up the very last little bit of it, you can't get any more out of here. You've taken off the cap, you've squeezed out every bit you can. If you cut the end of the tube here and squeeze this way, you should be able to get anything left, right? So, don't think that, this is pretty empty, but once I've gotten everything out of here that I can cut the tube, I can squeeze some out. I could even cut it this way and open it and use it to stencil a bunch of pages. I might use it for jelly printing when I'm down to the very end of it, that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean you have to be at the end to use it for jelly printing, but I might want to use it up, is what I'm saying. So I'm just gonna kind of pounce on some of this gold. I like the green background. I think it's a good green, but I'd like some pattern back there if I can get it. And I don't want it to be too loud. So we're just gonna pounce around here. This is one of my favorite stencils. I was gonna say my favorite stencil, but it's probably one of my favorites. I have several that are my favorites. Oh, and I just moved it. That's okay. See if I can realign it there because I'm not quite finished. As you can see by all the layers of paint, there's yellow and silver and just whatever the latest thing is, because I frequently don't clean my stencils, mostly because it's really hard to clean them. You know, if you've ever tried to clean something that's this intricate, I'm afraid I'm going to tear the small pieces there, so I don't want to do that. So I just kind of let the paint build up on it. If it gets too much, then I'll peel some of it off maybe. But you know, washing it every time I use it just doesn't really seem feasible. So I don't think we have to go all the way down with this. Let's see how much is well, some's gonna show down here on under his legs, so we might as well, right? Got the paint, got it out, might as well use it. Although I'm down to just barely squeezing this out, goodness. So just to see what, shows through there behind the peacock's legs. Go around the edge here. I think that's one of my favorite stencils because I like all the different designs in it. They're all, circular, but a little bit different. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, see, that's nice. That's a nice design. That gives us some interest in the background without really putting in too much. The gold is nice, but you still see a lot of the green through. That's going to be really pretty, I think. Let's lay this down on top and see. Yep, that just gives us some design. And up here is kind of where that's going to go. Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this down. It's still wet. Maybe I should dry it. So I'm going to grab a heat gun and dry that off, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've dried that off. It was very thin, so it didn't take it very long. I just wanted to make sure it didn't smear, that I didn't smear the paint when I put this on. Okay, so if I put this all the way to the edge, we're going to lose about that much of the bird cage. If I scoot it over, we can lose just like the doors kind of sticking out, and we lose a little bit here, which seems like the best option, I think. So let's get some glue going on this. If you have old calendars, they're really one of the best places to get really great images. I've gotten all kinds of things. This peacock is one thing, but butterflies, flowers, artwork, people. You can get some really great images, and you can get them, especially if you buy, if you keep last year's calendar, if you've had it, or if you buy, the calendars when they're done, at the end of the year, it's January, and, they're closing them out, or probably even like February or March, any place that has some left, we'll have them for dirt cheap. A lot of times they go to the dollar store or places like that where you can get it for not very much money. If you have friends who have calendars, and they might have like a day runner kind of calendar or journal kind of calendar that has pictures, that has really cool pictures in it. So that's another place to look. Make sure that's stuck down. But I know I don't tend to have wall calendars much anymore, but I know people who do, who put things up on, you know, a wall calendar and then write everybody's stuff on it. When my kiddo was young, we kept a wall calendar up because everybody wrote on the same calendar when they had to be somewhere. So my schedule, my husband's schedule, my daughter's activities, it all went on the same calendar, so that if you wrote something on the calendar, you could see if there was a conflict. You know, you couldn't put down, oh, the whole family's going on an outing today, when, you know, Lock and Bar was going to be on a choir trip with the kids or something like that. So, you know, Jazz and I could go on an outing, but Jeff wouldn't be available for that. So we just, you know, we had wall calendars for that. And so that's, you know, that makes a really great way to do it. Now, of course, everybody, you know, has a calendar on their phone, and then you can sync them. But I just never really was good at that. I have a calendar on my phone, and I do put things on it, but I just don't seem to do as well as when I have a written calendar. So I tend to have a day runner now. I think I just find that I can write things down on the calendar on my phone. I just don't write very much. Like, I can write down that I have an event or something, but you know, just the details of it, or what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to take, and all of that just end up in my handwritten, you know, day runner kind of calendar. Okay, that looks really pretty. I think I like that. Let's go ahead, I think, and put this in so we know where it's going to go. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit of outlining on this, just to help parts of it pop, I think. You know, I didn't cut out all of the stuff in the cage, which maybe I could have, but that would have driven me crazy, I think. Crazier than I already am, maybe, I should say. So really, I think we could stop there if we wanted to, but you know, I like a little embellishment. So I'm gonna do a little outlining, and then I think we're gonna put some jewels on there for sure, that kind of stuff. So I just want some of this to pop a little bit. I'm just gonna give it a little oomph here. And as usual, when I'm drawing something, I can't seem to talk and draw at the same time, so silence. All right, then we get silence. I'm trying to remember to start on the left side of the page so that I don't smear things as I go across. So here I am trying to do that. I have to swap out markers. This one doesn't seem to. Let's see if I got another one. Sometimes after you draw on something painted for a little while, it decides it doesn't really like the paint very much. It doesn't want to draw on it. It will if you just give it a rest, you know. Sometimes it's okay. It just seems like it takes it a few minutes to recuperate. If if you keep it on the magazine page, it does fine. But if you go off onto the painted part, it doesn't always like that. I always think I should do it in another color, like I should do it in the color that goes with whatever I'm outlining. In this case, maybe blue. But then if I do it in that color, I never really like it. So I just go back to black. I don't know, maybe in my head outlining is done in black. So and it's good too, because then you can cover a little bit, like some of these edges here. I didn't quite get the background cut away, so I can cover that up a little with the black marker. Let's see, how much detail do we want to do here? I don't know. Some of it maybe, it's hard to know. There's a lot of detail in here. Not really sure how much to do. I don't want to some of the little details I think are fine. With the little, there's little, knob looking things, little dots of metal around it or whatever it is, metal, wood. So I think it's fine to add a little of that just to give it some interest. Do want to draw around the main parts here. Not really sure how much of the feathers. Let's see. That's pretty. Let's see. How much do we want to do down here? I don't want to step on that, but I don't want it to be kind of, fall in the background either, because I've done so much stuff around it. So, do some of these little things. Maybe we'll outline some little eyes here. we're okay with that. And then I'm looking at it thinking I should have maybe outlined the butterfly. I don't think I want to outline these because they're behind the cage, so they're not in front, so it's not like something we would see. That's the top of the cage. But the butterfly is outside of the cage, so we could outline that, give it a little more presence. So I think that's good. I'm just trying to decide over here. Feels like it might need a little bit. There's maybe some stuff down here. Maybe just the edge of it here. Just connecting it, I think. Just kind of connecting it to the rest of the picture. Just so it all feels like it's part of the same thing. And then I think we can leave some of these in the background, but certainly they have, I think that's a little better. Okay, and I think maybe we want to outline this as well, so it stands out a little bit from the background because the color is similar and it doesn't. It's kind of green and blue. I don't know if we should maybe, thinking maybe my outline here too. Oh, that's better. I like that. There's a set. I wonder if we should. I wonder how it'd look to outline between the green and the blue. Might be nice because they kind of blend together. And this sort of gives it a little more separation there. Yep, I think that's better. I like that. And I like the background with the gold, and I like this. That looks nice. Maybe some A little more on the crown here. Yep. Okay. All right. I think this bird is in need of some jewels. So I'm thinking that I might just put some, blue jewels down here. He's going to definitely need some jewelry. So let's see what we have. Well, gold might be pretty too down there. These are iridescent. They're maybe a little big. I have some pearls. 2 different shades of blue. Let's see what else. Looking through my box here of stuff. I do have jewels. I have green and yellow jewels too, so maybe we'll do some jewels and some pearls. It's a different color. Those are pretty. Here's some silver and gold. And then here's just some clear. And I do have some of those strands of pearls that we've used before. I like the way the color looks against this. I'm just not sure. Might be able to cut it apart and do something with it. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think those are too big, and I'm not sure they're gonna work. I'm interested in these. I think I want to compare maybe the pearls. They look a little small though for the feathers. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe some of the smaller ones up here. Maybe not. And then maybe do some of the larger ones. I don't know, do we want to mix the pearls and the jewels? If we do, maybe we should go with this color pearl. With these jewels, too many decisions, choices. Gotta figure out which one to use. I think the big ones definitely look like they go. Maybe we should just put the big ones on and then, adapt to some other ones. Could definitely use some gold. Maybe we just don't need as many. Put some smaller ones there and some bigger ones there. I just, peacock, I just feel like he needs jewelry. And I haven't put a lot of bling on my pages recently, so. Oops, that one didn't stay. That one apparently doesn't like me today, so. We'll just give him a dab of glue. Probably should give the other ones a dab of glue too, just to help them stay in place. This one looks pretty big down here. That one's smaller. So we could put sticky stayed on that. Put the smaller blue ones. That'll be pretty. Let's go ahead and just put a dot of glue on each of those spots. do that. Put the small ones there. I like that kind of, this is slightly darker. That looks good with the lighter ones. I wonder what we could put on his crown up there. Sometimes they just stick to my fingers. I keep saying I'm going to get a pair of tweezers, but I never do. So that was moved a little. Okay. Yep, I like those. I think that's pretty. All right, let's look at the crown up here. We could put some yellow jewels, maybe 3 little yellow jewels across his crown. That seems like a good idea. I like those. These, I think, the sticky's good, so. Yeah, I like them across his crown. That looks good. Might be a little off kilter, but that's okay. Those are good. Maybe just a gold one down here. Just in the middle of where he's standing there. Then what about the flower? Should we put a gold one there? Maybe in the center of the flower? I think that would be a good idea. Just want to kind of spread some of the jewelry out a little bit so it's not all in one spot. Well, it keeps moving. There we go. Where else? Anywhere else? Do we need a few up here? That may be a little too close to that. Different color, maybe. Maybe some pearls. We could put maybe a few pearls. I don't know. Little band of 3 or 4 little pearls there, just kind of to underline it, frame it. I don't think so. It kind of doesn't really look like it needs it. We could put a jewel or 2 like in one of the designs. That's kind of cool. One there, and maybe one up there to echo what's in his tail. It might be fun. Or maybe the gold ones. Nah, we'll let that be the background. Okay, I think in that case, we're going to call this one done. And it's really fun. I liked going through and, just pulling stuff out of the stash. I've been trying to clean some things out and find, I find things and then I realize that I have stuff that I didn't realize I had. So that makes it fun to make. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like, give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, talk to you. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Until we meet again, remember, use what you have to make your life more beautiful. Bye.